So while this is going on, we'll give you the heat race number 1 lineup for the semis on the high banks, presented by TLG Group, Peterbilt of Louisville, Kentucky, and Ford dealers. Inside row number 1, going to be the 88 machine of Mac Vader, Mike Morgan from War Trace, Tennessee. To his outside, going to be the hometown guy, the Bird's Eye Bullet, Brian Bear. Row number 2, it's going to be the 4 Scott Lightning Treadway from Marshall, North Carolina in the MMF Turbo Logistics machine. To his outside, the number 3, that's going to be Alan Bowles. Inside row number 3, going to be the 66 coming all the way from Wisconsin, and that is going to be the number 66 of Austin, Dr. Diesel Hoppy. And outside of him, the number 46 machine, the Clyde, North Carolina driver of Nicholas Black. That's how they're going to line up in your first 10-lap heat race for the semis. Race fans, are you ready for this? No, come on, Salem Speedway. You waited a long time. They weren't here last year. Let these drivers hear you. Who's ready for the semi on the high banks? Getting ready and said, like I said last night, I went riding with the fastest qualifier, Mike Morgan, and I can tell you it was a rush. I couldn't imagine doing it for 30 laps. I will say that. That wall was a little too close to my comfort, but I'll let the professionals handle it. So Mike Morgan, we can't thank him enough for that ride last night, the Mac Vader, Tennessee driver. He is in that number 88, and he actually was a big front in promoting this event. So I got to give Mike Morgan a round of applause, definitely, for getting the semis, having a big part in that, getting the semis back to Salem Speedway. Now, let's talk about the flip side. On the outside is your defending champion in the semis, Brian Bear, and he won this event in 2021. Now, I talked to Mike. It was pretty interesting. He goes, you know what, there's a little bit on my shoulder that I finished second to Brian Bear in 2021. I got to come out and show him how to do it. Well, I think Brian Bear, being the hometown favorite, I think he's going to have something to say about that. But we'll see. Well, here he goes. Race fans, let's give these beautiful semis a round of applause as they come down the front stretch, getting ready for their first 10-lap heat race tonight. Just letting these drivers fill it out just a little bit. Now here's what I'm going to say personally. It's been a long time in this business, and I've never seen a pace vehicle smaller than the vehicles behind it. So they better be careful a little bit here. But here we go. We'll see what they give. Maybe a lap or two here around this to feel things out a little bit. But it's going to be very interesting to see this start. So it's going to be Mac Vader on that front row inside, Brian Bear to the high side. So Indiana and Tennessee on the front row. North Carolina. And all North Carolina second row. A North Carolina, Wisconsin back row. So very interesting, as this is just a little bit of a tune-up for tonight's 30-lap main event for the semis on the high banks. We thank TLG and, of course, Peterbilt of Louisville for sponsoring this, as well as the Kentucky and Ford dealers for having the semis back here as well at Salem Speedway. So 2x2, they enter turns number 3. And it's going to be a beautiful sight. This time, the lights will be out. The Ford F-150 Eddie Gilstrap Motors Pace vehicle. And if I was him, I would definitely pick up speed down the backstretch, because these drivers have waited and waited and waited over a year to be back here at the 33-degree banking. These trucks in fourth gear go up to 120 miles per hour around the high banks. Two by two, Mike Morgan, Brian Bear, 10 laps set to be the distance. Heat race number 2, you need to be staged up, please. Heat race number 2, be making your way to staging. And the pace vehicle speeds up. Black smoke starts to pour from the field as we get ready and set to see the first side-by-side action from the semis here at Salem Speedway in 2023 race. Well, that scared me a little bit. They're going to put the caution flag back out. Don't know what the radio communication was on that. Wave off start. But I was just thinking, what is the pace vehicle doing? So we'll see what they say this time. So lost a little bit of the power upstairs. That is a report from Race Control. Just trying to give you fans the most information I can. That's why they do not let that go green that time by. Of course, electronic storing. Coming to one this time by. We do apologize for the delay. Just a little bit of scoring issues at the top tower. So now, Chief starter, give him the one to go at the line. Race fans, the horns are going off. That can only mean one thing from the semis here at Salem Speedway. Indiana, Tennessee, Wisconsin, and North Carolina going to bring us to the green flag next time by. Getting ready and set, 2x2 down the back straightaway. Mike Morgan, Brian Bear, lead us to the green flag. We'll try it again here at Salem Speedway. Pace truck better make that hard left-hand turn this time by, and he does, race fans. Here we go, semi on the high banks. Heat race number one, Brian Bear on the high side. Trying to get the momentum, Mike Morgan to his inside. The black smoke starting to pour out as he exit turns number two. And there it goes. Mike Morgan to the high side. Or excuse me, Brian Bear. Kind of hard to see the numbers on some of these, but Brian Bear is going to lead lap number one. As they fly down the front stretch here, they'll enter turns number three. Once again, Brian Bear knows how to get around Salem Speedway. Heads off down the back straightaway once more. Mike Morgan right behind him, and the number four, Scott Lightning Treadway. That is your top three right now as they enter turns number 3 and 4. Still going to be Brian Bear. Now 3 truck breakaway. So Brian Bear, Mike Morgan, and Scott Treadway. Here comes the Wisconsin native right behind him in the number 66 of Austin Diesel Hoppy. Now a little bump drafting possibly going on, and Mike Morgan thought better of it. But here comes the 4 of Treadway to the inside, trying to battle for the number 2 spot. 3 laps now up on the board. 3 truck battle for the number 1 spot as he enter turns number 2 as they head off down the back straightaway once more. Still Brian Bear, Mike Morgan, Scott Treadway, and now Austin Hoppy in the number 66. Here comes Mike Vader Morgan. Here he comes down the front stretch. Mac Vader trying to go to the inside of Brian Bear. Backs off. Brian Bear going to use the high side as he enters turns number 2, going down the back. Oh, watch out! And oh, big issue. And I don't know how they didn't hit anything, but race fans, how about that? I knew my watch out phrase would come out sooner than later, and it did. Man, Brian Bear didn't hit a thing. How about that? Let's give Brian Bear a round of applause. Holy cow. And that's impressive. I mean, could you build the intensity anymore? These two drivers battling it out in 2021. They come here in 2023, and the story continues. And Brian Bear is going to take that car, or excuse me, I will say car a lot. You have to excuse that. Truck pit side, but there is Mac Vader, Mike Morgan's number 88, the Tennessee driver. But right there on Dirt 2 Media, if you're watching at home, you can see very up close and personal with the number 00, Brian Bear, as he pulls back to his pit spot. Looks like minimum damage on that 00. Crew's going to survey that a little bit. Not even halfway yet. 4 laps in the books of the 10 scheduled. Heat race number 2 in the wing, waiting on the back straightaway. So the Eddie Gilstrap Motors Ford Salem Pace vehicle picks up the field. And this is exactly what the number 4 of Scott Lightning Treadway, the Marshall, North Carolina driver, wants, because he is now in the number 1 position. So the field gathers it back up behind the pace truck. And before we go for the restart, so making sure scoring and everything is official here. Once again, we want to thank the Larson Group, Peterbilt of Louisville, for their sponsorship, Kentucky and Ford Dealers, and Red Ball Recycling. We want to thank those partners for putting on this event tonight. And you can see on TV right now on Dirt 2 Media, Brian Bear still strapped in with his helmet on as his crew is inside the cockpit trying to make sure everything is good. And it looks like Brian Bear going to take that helmet off now as he is getting help getting unhooked right now. They're on camera. Thank you, Bobby, down there for the good shot of Brian. And Brian's got his helmet off now, race fans. I'm sure you can hear you. Let him hear you. Brian Bear. And he has got that helmet off, smiling a little bit as he gets out, puts his glasses on, take the steering wheel off, and he'll get out of that 00 machine and get ready for the feature race event tonight. Don't think the setup is quite as like his Great American Stock Car, but you never know. So lights are out on the Pace vehicle once more, getting ready and set to go green next time by. 4 laps on the board, 6 laps being left to be completed here in your first of 2 heat races for the semis here at Salem Speedway tonight. So 2x2 down the back straightaway. Pace vehicle will pick up speed as we get ready and see the green flag off turn number 2. Pace vehicle picks up speed. He'll go into turns number 3 right now. So now it's going to be the number 4 of Scott Treadway. Outside of him, going to be Austin Hoppy. It's number 66, the Wisconsin driver, and we're back underway. And what a start by the 66 of Austin Hoppy. He'll enter turns number 1 and 2. Still side by side, exiting turns number 2 right now. It's still going to be the 66 machine of Austin Hoppy. As now the inside, here comes Scott Treadway's number 4. As we got a battle for the number 1 spot coming out of turn 4. So now the 66 on the high side, inside the number 4. Here comes Scott Treadway to the inside. Drag race down the back straightaway. He'll pull back. Here comes Scott Treadwell. The number 4, the Tennessee driver, North Carolina driver. Drag race outside turn 4. What a battle. As they head on down to turns number 1. How about that? Scott Treadway and the number 4 trying to get up to the number 66 of Austin Hoppy. Still not, but the gap now from 2nd to 3rd now building. As we only have 3 laps to go until this one's over. So the 66 of Austin Hoppy trying to hold off the number 4 of Scott Treadway. battle for the number 3 spot as the number 3 up on the high side of Alan Bowles tries to hold off a charging Mike Morgan. Good battle for the 3rd spot, but here comes the battle for the number 1 spot. This is the spot that matters. 2 laps to go around Salem Speedway. Treadway on the inside, Hoppy on the outside, battling into turns number 2. It is a drag race down the back straightaway. Austin Hoppy on the high side. White flag next time by. 1 more lap to battle this one out here at Salem Speedway. Can Austin Hoppy, the Wisconsin driver, and looks like yellow flag going to come out, and it looks like a piece of debris all over the front stretch here. And 66 was against the wall just a little bit outside turn 2. Don't know what happened to the number 66 of Austin Hoppy. It looks like maybe a tire is what I'm thinking. It's what the report may be on that 66 truck. But tough break. He all but had it. And, yes, it looks like a blown right front. And there you have it. Oh, tough break for Austin Hoppy. And luckily we have a truck tire team here with us tonight. Let's give him a round of applause. Tough break for the Wisconsin native. Just want to say happy anniversary to Amanda White and also a very happy birthday to Scott Owen. We appreciate you for being here tonight with us. Happy birthday, young man. We appreciate that. And race fans, let's give our Impact Rescue Safety Team, presented by Safety Clean, a round of applause. They don't get enough credit at tracks around the country, so let's give them a round of applause. We appreciate them for being out here with us here tonight. They may have their work cut out for them, that's for sure. We'll see how the night progresses. We also want to thank Wilcox Towing and Recovery, having the big boy out here tonight in the infield. Hopefully we don't have to use it, but you never know. But as you see right now, the 66 of Austin Hoppy, that crew already going to work on changing that right front tire on that semi. So at the conclusion of both heat races for the semis will be the Scrappers 25-lap feature tonight on the Kidney Bean course. Then we'll take a brief intermission after that. Come back with the 35-lap Crown Vic High Bank feature and end the night with the driver intros and the semi 30-lap feature here tonight. So, Scrapper drivers, you will be at the conclusion of heat race number 2 for the semis. Scrapper drivers, be lined up on the front stretch pit area for your race, please. Scrapper drivers, you need to be lined up on the front stretch of the small track for your heat race. Once again, your feature race event. Scrapper drivers, be making your way to the short track for your feature. Thank you. Coming to one to go at the line here for heat race number 1, heat race number 2. You will be up next. Scrapper division cars, you need to be making your way to the track on the inner track for your feature race event. So 2 of the front runners, I should say 3 of the front runners now out of this race, but what you got to look at is how about this break for Mike Morgan's 88 now. He finds himself on the preferred groove on the outside, coming to the green flag. And here we go. And here we go. We're underway. So the 88 already, Mike Morgan now pops to the outside, him and the truck known as Mac Vader. But here comes the number 4 of Treadway. Now to the inside, he'll take over the number 1 spot. And it's good battle for the number 3 spot back there brewing right now. But off turn number 4, it's going to be the white flag for Mac Vader's Mike Morgan in second. And Scott Treadway, known as Lightning, on the point. So how about that number 4 here tonight? Scott Treadway into turns number 3. And off turn number 4, it's going to be the number 4 machine of Scott Treadway, parking in heat race number 1 here tonight, followed by Mike Morgan and the number 46 of Nicholas Black, rounding out your top 3 trucks. So scrapper cars, you need to be making your way to staging, please. I see a few of you already making your way up. Your 25-lap feature race event is after heat race number 2. Race fans, let's give him a round of applause one more time. Scott Lightning Treadway, Marshall, North Carolina winner in heat race number 1 here tonight. Now, I don't know if you heard the podcast or not, but I had Mike Morgan's 88 on, and what cools the brakes on these machines, pretty interesting fact, is a water spray system that they have equipped inside their cab. So water actually cools the brakes of these semis.